On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at SRAM's Truvativ Stylo 7K aluminum crankset. Before we get into it, make sure that you click that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this into the future. So the 7K crankset slotted in between the Stylo 6K crank from Truvativ, which is just a rebranded SRAM GX crankset, and then it's below the Stylo carbon crankset. And this takes some cues between both of them. And the first technology is going to be the dub bottom bracket standard. So this is a relatively new bottom bracket standard from SRAM. And basically what it does is it uses 29mm spindles rather than the standard 30mm spindle. The 29mm spindle was needed because on several manufacturers like Giant and Trek that used press fit 92 bottom brackets, there was not a bearing set that would be able to accommodate the larger 30mm spindle. So you used to have to run a 24mm GXP spindle, but that's not nearly as light or stiff because the old 30mm spindles were aluminum, whereas the GXP spindle was actually steel. The other thing is the larger diameter spindle is stiffer and more efficient. So what they did is they went to this 29mm spindle, which allows them to run an ever so slightly smaller bearing size. And with that bearing size that's just a little bit smaller, what that allows for is they can run both on a threaded BSA frame like this bottom bracket, but also on those press fit 92 frames, you can still press in a bearing that'll allow this to be used. So on this 7K, you get aluminum arms that are a little more slender than what you would have saw on the 6K crankset, and they more closely match in design to what you'd find on the carbon crank. Now, these are forged aluminum crank arms, and then the chainring is going to be a Eagle narrow wide chainring, so it's got that kind of unique profile on it, and this is going to be set up for 10, 11, or 12 speed, and it's a direct mount. So you've got 3 bolts on the back here where you're able to unbolt this chainring. It is made out of aluminum and is pretty light. Well, now that we've taken a look at some of the features of this Stylo 7K crankset, let's go ahead and find out what it weighs. So the Stylo 7K crankset comes in and weighs 614 grams. Well, thanks for watching this James the Bike Guy. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to leave me a comment with your thoughts on this crankset.